program in, what is the college opposite the stadium?
Nizam College.
Nizam College. There was a big program in Nizam College. And 20 years later, I met one man. He says, I attended the program. Your Guru Maharaj, he was there. You know, and he was talking to me as if he had just came out of the program. He was so affected. Such people have some qualification, their memory and their receptivity. And there are still people like that. Even at the Rath Yatra organized by our Sri Praneet, many of you were there, all of you almost. Did you notice Kirtan was very nice, it was going on. And there, in the middle of the Kirtan, two girls were sitting there, about 17 years old, 18 years old. And they didn't look up, they didn't clap their hands, they were simply reading Prabhupada's books, concentrating. Such concentration, that's remarkable. Can anybody concentrate like that? Mobile phone goes off or something like that. They were sitting and reading difficult subject matter for 15 minutes uninterruptedly. You posted, some of the pictures you posted include those two girls. Very remarkable. So there are many qualified people. Actually, Hyderabad is not devoid of the benefit of being visited by great personalities. Ramanujacharya passed through Hyderabad. In the old city, the Sitaram Bagh, he camped there. It's a very nice temple. So it's nice that we are doing what we can to continue in the line of Krishna, Balaram, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu by spreading this Harinam Sankirtan, going in the street and chanting in a proper way. There's Mohan. Now, he's not the only one. Even Andesha is learning to chant nicely, and others. There's some rules. It's a mistake to misunderstand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's statement, there are no hard and fast rules for chanting Hare Krishna. Shikshashtakam. That means that Prabhupada gives the example, if some person is living here and he's from another country, doesn't speak English or any Indian language, but his house is catch fire. He'll go out in the street and shout. So people will understand, even though he doesn't speak the language. Or if someone is some disease and he'll cry out for help, his crying out, his calling will have effect even though people don't understand what he's saying or what's troubling him. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says there are no hard and fast rules, it's for calling Krishna's name in that way, individual. But when there's a Sankirtan party organized by a member of a mission, like Prabhupada's mission, then there are rules. What is the prime rule? We should chant as the Acharya chanted. Unfortunately, this is not understood very widely. on Facebook, some of my godbrothers are appreciating that there's the necessity of chanting in a certain way. The simple tunes that Prabhupada chanted. So that is our mission, really. We are not so qualified even to sit and read for a long time. So we want to become Krishna conscious. We want to, but we don't even know the scope of Krishna consciousness unless by reading and hearing. What are the characteristics of advanced devotees, the acharyas, the Goswamis who wrote so many books? They didn't live in a nice flat. They lived in a hut, just a hut. And they wore just a kopin sometimes. So we cannot imitate them. Their philosophical understanding was inconceivable. The books of the Goswamis, they wrote continuously. Not like a computer, you can go back and correct something or change it. They just sat and wrote in a stream. And if you read, for example, Satsandarbha, the logic, the perfection of the sequence of thoughts and the analysis and the presentation are so perfect. And they wrote continuous. So we're not so intelligent or so qualified. We should, we can't even do proper worship. We can if we know the standards that Prabhupada set, but even that is being diluted. Unfortunately, new things being introduced and required things are being forgotten as far as deity worship, temples. So it's very difficult. At least we can. Some are a little inclined they to manage. So they will especially do research and find out how to manage a temple, how to keep the temple, how to keep the deity worship standards. That requires research. You can't just accept what is going on now. Many things are wrong in even big temples. Just because of failure of if some managers are replaced, there's a failure to transmit, like in technology. If you're changing shift in some power station or something, then you hand over, here's the log. There was a spike of voltage at 2 p.m. because of this, so all the person taking over, there's continuity. Unfortunately, this is often not the case. Sometimes a manager will leave, and then a new manager comes, he's not experienced, he's not so qualified, and due to that, changes in the standards will take place. The worship of the Acharya is to be worshipped on the same level, to the same standard as worship of the Lord. But you see, now, I don't go to temples because I don't drive and nobody is taking me. I would like to hear nice kirtans, which sometimes can be found. But I see on Facebook pictures of people sitting in the temple with their back to the acharya. That's offense. One should, there are rules given in Nectar of Devotion for worship. How to sit. One should not spread the legs in front of the deity. One should not belch in front of pass air in front of the deity. One should not yawn. One should not cry out like, yeah, oh, horrible, I'm just stretching in front of it. One should not do like that. All these rules, people don't know. People are not reading Nectar Devotion. Not a difficult book. Just simple rules are given. They have to be followed. So similarly, they are not following how kirtan is to be done. So we have to try to do what we can. We are trying. I try. I was asking about Mohan because you can tell him, somebody, see, his kirtan is very nice, and Ambesh is also learning. I haven't heard much, and also yours. But